starts with the arrival of all those dear and devoted patrons of the arts who wave and greet each other in the grand salon, commenting on how this one looks and how that one is dressed, scarcely knowing what play they are about to see that evening, with the exception of one man, Ivan Ilyich Terdyakov. If Ivan Ilyich Terdyakov, a clerk, a civil servant, a clerk in the Ministry of Public Parks, had any passion in life at all, it was the theater. He certainly had hopes and ambitions for higher office, and had dedicated his life to hard work, zeal, and patience. But still, he would not deny himself his one great pleasure. So he purchased 2 tickets in the very best section of the theater for the opening night performance of Rostov's The Bearded Countess. As fortune would have it, into the theater that night came his respected superior, General Mikhail Brazilov, the Minister of Public Parks himself.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Permit me, sir. I am Chernikov, Ivan Ilyich. It is a great honor, sir.
Yes.
I, like yourself, General, work in the Ministry of Public Parks. That is to say, I serve you, who is indeed himself the Minister of Public Parks. I'm the Assistant Chief Clerk of the Department of Trees and Bushes.
Yes, lovely trees and bushes, monsieur. Very nice. Keep up the good work.
My wife would like very much to say hello to you, sir. This is she, Madame Chernikov.
How do you do?
My pleasure.
My pleasure, General.
How do you do?
Madame Brazilov, my wife, Madame Chernikov.
How do you do, Madame Brazilov?
How do you do?
I just had the pleasure of meeting your husband.
And I am my wife's husband. How do you do then, Madame Brazilov?
Sorry, terribly sorry.
I hope you enjoyed the play, sir.
I will, if I can watch it.
Feeling quite pleased with himself for having made the most of this golden opportunity, Ivan Ilyich Terdyakov sat back to enjoy The Bearded Countess. He was no longer a stranger to the Minister of Public Parks. They had become, if one wanted to be generous about the matter, familiar with each other. And then, quite suddenly, without any warning, like a bolt from a gray thundering sky, Ivan Ilyich Terdyakov reared his head back and...
Achoo! Oh my goodness, General! I'm sorry, I'm so terribly sorry, sir.
Never mind, it's all right.
Oh right, but sir, it was unpardonable. It was monstrous of me.
You make too much of the matter. Let it rest.
Let it rest, but sir, let me wipe your back. That's the least I can do.
Leave it be. It's all right, I say.
But General, it was an accident, I assure you, but it's disgusting. The thing is, General, it came completely without warning. It was out of my nose before I could stifle it. It's not a cold, if that's what you're worried about, General. Probably a particle of dust in the nostrils.
But try as he might, Terdyakov could not put the incident out of his mind. The sneeze, no more than an innocent anatomical accident, grew out of all proportion until it resembled the angry roar of a cannon aimed squarely at the enemy camp. He played the incident back in his mind, slowing the procedure down so he could view again in horror the infamous deed.
Choo!
I was completely charmed by it.
Excuse me, Your Excellency, excuse me.
Who's tapping? Somebody's tapping me. Who's that tapping?
I'm tapping, sir. I'm the tapper. Chernikov.
Stand back, dear. Sneezer.
No. I'm all sneezed out now. I was just concerned about you going into the cold night air with a damp head.
And therefore, Paul, forget it, young man. Did you find the play amusing?
Oh, yes, my goodness, yes. Very amusing. I haven't laughed so much in years.
Which part interested you most?
When I sneezed on you, sir, it was inexcusable.
Forget it, man. Come on, dear. It looks like rain, and I don't want to get my head wet. Again.
You should let people sneeze on you, dear. You're not sneeze at.
I'm rude. You'll have me fired from the Department of Trees and bushes and moving the branches of twigs.
Come, Michael.
What?
It was just a harmless little sneeze. You mustn't let it bother you. I'm sure the general's probably forgotten it already.
Do you really think so?
No, Ivan. I'm scared.
So they walked home in despair.
Perhaps I could send the general a gift. Some Turkish towels, maybe?
Cherjikov's once promising career had literally been blown away.
Why did this happen to me at all? Why did I go to the theater at all? Why did I sit in the balcony with people in my own class? They love speaking to each other.
Come to bed, Ivan.
Perhaps if I were to call on a general and explain matters in such a charming, honest, and self-effacing manner, he'd have no choice but to forgive me.
Maybe it's best not to remind him, dear.
No, if I am to behave like a gentleman, I must be one.
So the morning came. It so happened that this was the day that the general listened to petitions. Since there were 50 or 60 petitioners ahead of Cherjakov, he waited from morning till late afternoon.
Next. Next.
I'm not next, Excellency, I'm last.
Very well then. Last.
That is I, sir.
Well, what's your petition?
I have no petition, sir. I'm not a petitioner.
Then you waste my time.
Do you not recognize me, sir? We met last night under rather explosive circumstances. I'm the splatterer. The sneezer? The sneezing splatterer? The one who sneezed on you, sir?
Indeed. What is it you want now? The Gesundheit.
No, Your Excellency. Your forgiveness. I just wanted to point out that there was no antisocial or political motivation behind this sneeze. It was a nonpartisan, nonviolent act of God. I curse the disturbing part of upon my face, sir. It's a hateful cause, and I will not be responsible for its indiscretions. Your passion forgive me, but exile my nose.
My dear young man, I'm not angry with your nose. I'm much too busy to have time for your nasal problems. I suggest you go home and take a hot bath, or a cold one. Take something. But please don't bother me about this silly business again. Jibber, jibber, jibber. That's all I've heard all day. Jibber, 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 jibber.
Oh, thank you, sir. May God bless you and your house and your wife. May your days be sweet, your nights be sweeter than your days.
The feeling of relief that came over Cherjakov was enormous.
May the birds sing and harmony in your window in the morning, and may the coffee be strong and hot in your cup.
The weight of the burden that was lifted was inestimable.
I worship the chair that we sit on, and the uniform you wear that sits in the chair that I worship.
We walked home, singing and whistling like a lark. Life was surely a marvel, a joy, a heavenly paradise.
God, I am happy.
And yet, when he arrived at home, he began to think.
have I been the butt of a cruel and thoughtless joke?
Had the minister toyed with him?
If he did not wish to torment me, why did he punish me so unmercifully?
If the sneeze meant so little to the minister, why did he deliberately cause Cherjakov to writhe in his bed?
To twist in agony all night?
Cherjakov was furious.
I am furious.
He foamed and fumed and paced the night through. In the morning, he called out to his wife, Sonia!
Sonia! I have been humiliated.
You, Ivan? But who would humiliate you? You're such a kind, generous person.
Who? I'll tell you who. General Brazilov, the Minister of Public Parks.
What did he do, dear?
The swine. He humiliated me in such a subtle fashion it was almost indiscernible. His cunning is matched only by his cruelty. He practically forced me to go into his office and grovel and beg on my knees. I was reduced to a gibbering idiot.
You were that reduced?
I know what I must do. The world must be made safe so that men of all nations and creeds, regardless of religion or color, will be free to sneeze in their superiors. It is he who will be humiliated by I.
And so, the next morning, Cherjakov went to humiliate me.
Last. Well,
Well? Do you not recognize me? Yes, you are quite correct.
Who?
Chernakov. And I have returned, having taken neither a hot bath nor a cold one.
Do let this filthy man in. What is he want?
What is it? You sit there as minister of the public party in high standing among the upper classes and ask me, a lowly civil servant, what is it? You sit there with full knowledge that there are those in this life who are served and those that are served to, those who bow and those that are bowed to, those who obey and those that are obeyed, and that there are certain bits in this life which cause humiliation, and those that are the cause of that humiliation, and until you ask me, what is it?
Don't stand there gibbering like an idiot. What is it you want?
I'll tell you what I want. I wanted to apologize for sneaking, sir. It was an accident, I assure you.
Out. Out. Fool. Imbecile. Idiot. I never want to see you again. If you ever cross my line of vision, I'll have you exiled forever. What's your name?
Chernakov!
Germ spreader. Maggot. Insect. You are lower than an insect. You're the second cousin to a cockroach, the nephew of a ringworm, the son-in-law of a bedbug. You are nothing. Nothing, you hear me? Nothing!
In that moment, something broke loose inside of Cherjapov. Something so deep, so vital, so organic that the damage that was done seemed irreparable. The matter was over for once, for all, forever. What happened next was quite simple. Ivan Ilyich Cherjapov arrived at home, removed his coat, lay down on the sofa, and died. Printed 5 million rubles. Well, there's not much point to it, but it is uplifting. I can assure you, it is not my intention to make life any harsher than it is. But some of us are indeed trapped. Witness the predicament of a young governess who cares for and educates the children of a well-to-do family.
Julia!
Trapped indeed.
Julia!
Yes, madam?
Look at me, child. Pick your head up. I like to see your eyes when I speak to you.
Yes, madam.
And how are the children coming along with their French lessons?
Oh, they're very bright children, madam.
Eyes up! They're bright, you say? Well, why not? And mathematics. They're doing well in mathematics, I assume.
Yes, madam, especially Vanya.
Oh, certainly. I knew it. I excelled in mathematics. He gets that from his mother, wouldn't you say?
Yes, madam.
Head up! That's it. Don't be afraid to look people in the eyes, my dear. If you think of yourself as inferior, that's exactly how people will treat you.
Yes, madam.
A quiet girl, aren't you? Now then, let's settle our accounts. Let's see. We agreed on 30 rubles a month, did we not?
40.
No, 30. I made a note of it. I always pay my governesses 30. Who told you 40?
But you did, ma'am. I spoke to no one else concerning money.
Impossible! Maybe you thought you were 40 when I said 30. You kept your head up. That would never happen. Now look at me again and I will say it clearly. 30 rubles a month.
Yes, ma'am.
Settled. 30 a month it is. Now then, you've been here exactly 2 months.
2 months and 5 days.
No. 2 months exactly. I made a note of it. You should keep books the way I do so there wouldn't be these discrepancies. So we have 2 months at 30 rubles a month comes to 60 rubles, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Subtract 9 Sundays. We did agree to subtract Sundays, didn't we?
No, ma'am.
Eyes! Certainly we did. I've always subtracted Sundays. I didn't bother making a note of it because I always do it. Don't you recall when I said we will subtract Sundays?
No, ma'am.
Think.
No, ma'am.
You weren't thinking, your eyes were wandering. Look straight at my face and look hard. Do you remember me?
Yes, madam.
I didn't hear you, Julia.
Yes, madam.
Good. I was sure to remember. Plus 3 holidays, correct?
2, Christmas and New Year's.
And your birthday. That's 3.
Oh, I worked on my birthday, ma'am.
You did? Well, there was no need to. My governesses never work on their birthdays.
But I did work, ma'am.
But that's not the question, Julia. We're discussing financial matters now. I will, however, only count 2 holidays, if you insist.
I did work.
Then you do insist.
No, ma'am.
Very well, that's 3 holidays. Therefore, we take out 12 rubles. Now, 4 days little Colleen was sick, and there were no lessons.
I made lessons to Vanya.
True. But I engaged you to teach 2 children, not 1. Shall I pay you in full for doing only half of the work?
Oh, no. But I did.
So we'll deduct it. Now, 3 days you had a toothache, and my husband gave you permission not to work after lunch.
After 4. I worked until 4.
But I have here did not work after lunch. We have lunch at 1 and are finished at 2, not at 4, correct?
Yes, but I did work.
That's another 7 rubles. 7 and 12 is 19. Subtract. That leaves 41 rubles, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Now then, on January 4th, you broke a teacup and a saucer. Is that true?
Just the saucer, ma'am.
But what good is the teacup without a saucer? That's 2 rubles. The saucer was an heirloom. It cost much more. But let it go. I'm used to taking losses.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, on January 9th, Coley climbed a tree and tore his jacket.
Oh, I forbid him to do so, ma'am.
But he didn't listen, did he? 10 rubles. January 14th, Vanya's shoes were stolen.
Well, by the maid, you discharged her yourself.
But you get paid good money to watch everything. I explained that in our first meeting. But perhaps you weren't listening. Were you listening that day, Julia, or was your head in the clouds?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, your head was in the clouds?
No, ma'am. I was listening.
Good. So that means another 5 rubles off. Ah, yes. The 16th of January, I give you 10 rubles.
You didn't.
But I made a note of it. Why would I make a note of giving you 10 rubles if I didn't give it to you?
I don't know, ma'am.
That's not a satisfactory answer, Julia. Why would I make a note of giving you 10 rubles if I did not, in fact, give it to you? No answer? Then I must have given it to you, mustn't I?
If you say so, ma'am.
Oh, well, certainly I'd say so. That's the point of this little talk, to clear these matters up. So we take 27 from 41. That leaves 14 rubles, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, what's this? Tears? Are you crying? Has something made you unhappy, Julia? Please tell me. It pains me to see you this way. I'm so sensitive to tears. What is it?
Well, only once since I've been here have I been given any money at all. On my birthday, your husband gave me 3 rubles.
Really? Well, there's no note of it in my book. I'll write it down now. 3 rubles. Thank you for telling me. Sometimes I'm a little lax with my accounts. Always shortchanging myself. So we take another 3 from 14 leaves 11. Do you wish to check my figures?
It's not necessary, ma'am.
Then we're all settled. Here's your pay for 2 months, dear. 11 rubles. Count it.
There's no need to, ma'am.
Well, come, let's keep the record straight. Count it.
As you wish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only 10, ma'am.
Are you sure? Possibly you dropped one. Look on the floor. See if there's a coin there.
I didn't drop one. I'm quite sure.
Well, it's not here on my desk, and I know I gave you 11 rubles. Look on the floor.
It's not necessary, ma'am. 10 rubles will be fine.
Well, keep the 10 for now, and if we don't find it on the floor later, we'll discuss it again next month.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. You're very kind, ma'am.
Julia,
Yes, ma'am.
come back here.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you thank me?
Oh, for the money.
For the money? But don't you realize what I've done? Well, I've cheated you, robbed you. I have no such notes in my book. I made up whatever came into my mind. Instead of the 80 rubles which I owe you, I gave you only actually stolen from you, and still you thank me? Why?
Well, in the other places I've worked, I haven't been given anything at all.
We've cheated you even worse than I have. I was playing a little joke on you, a cruel lesson just to teach you. But you're much too trusting, and in this world, that's very dangerous. I'm going to give you the entire 80 rubles. It's all ready for you. The rest is in this bag. Here, take it.
As you wish, ma'am.
Julia,
Yes, ma'am?
is it possible to be so spineless? Why don't you protest? Why don't you speak up? Why don't you cry out against this cruel and unjust treatment? Is it really possible to be so guileless, so innocent? Such a pardon me for being so blunt, such a simpleton?
Yes, madam. It's possible.